Okay, good evening or good morning, good afternoon, whenever and wherever you are watching. This is part two in our series on goal setting. So, this is part two in the series. And last night we talked about mindset, the mindset that will help you set achievable goals and actually achieve those goals. Tonight, we're going to talk about categorizing the goals and prioritizing your goals. Some of the homework from last night was, to review what you really want. So let's talk about our lives. I think all of us have, at one time or another, made a goal and failed at it, probably lots and lots of times. So if that's ever happened to you more than once or many times, like it's happened to me, that's actually something to embrace. Because when you fail at a goal, it is a learning lesson. It is a tool for you to gather data from and to see, hey, what started to work, what didn't work, why did I not get the result that I wanted? And if you remember high school chemistry, there is a whole series about analyzing experiments. You have a hypothesis on what you think is going to happen. You have a question, first of all. So, this is the scientific method. You have a question. You look around and observe in nature, and you say, I wonder if. And you create a hypothesis. And then you discover the steps on how to see if your hypothesis was correct. And when you have the scientific method and when you do your experiments, it is a learning phase. It's a discovery phase. So if you've failed at something, don't judge yourself. If you see others failing at something, don't judge them. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some care. And if you get nothing else from tonight, love yourself a little bit more. If you're here, if you're listening to this, then you're above ground and you're doing something to make your life better. So celebrate that. Celebrate those wins. There's no shame, there's no guilt. You can release that. So again, we're carrying over from mindset. You got to release it in order to open yourself up to more good things to come your way. So again, give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up if you've failed at something again and again and again and again. Now is the time to dream. Now is the time to be open. And we're going to talk about how to categorize your goals. There are so many, many, many places on the internet, in books, where you have categories in life. Some people have 3 main categories, 5 categories, 10 categories, 12 categories, and that can, for me, get a little overwhelming. I don't want to have 12 categories. I want to keep it simple. Um, so here are the 4 categories. And if you don't have a pen, pencil, lipstick, mascara, go get something to write with. Write it on a napkin, scrap piece of paper on the back of your hand. Take notes and find at least one thing that you can take away from today to move your life in the direction that you want to go as you create your own life. So the 4 categories that I decided to label, and I'm looking around for a table. I mean, imagine if you have a table and your table only has 2 legs, it's going to be wobbly. If your table has 3 legs, it's still not going to be good. You want 4 solid legs to your table. And I created my categories. I like to use fancy term in English called alliteration. They all begin with S. It helps me remember, like it's simple. So the 4 categories are self, spouse, service, and smile. Self, spouse, service, and smile. I'm going to work backwards. Smile. We need to have things in our life that make us smile. What good is life if it's all drudgery and work? So that's a category where we talk about having fun. And in the group's called Spiritual Money Mind Shift. We're shifting our mind towards spiritual things. I believe the Bible is the best success book ever written, and Yeshua, or Jesus, as the Greeks called him, he said, I came to give you life and life to the full. What's fullness if you don't have things that make you smile? That's category 4. Category 3 is service. Service. Where do you provide value out in the community? It could be your job. It could be giving to charity. It could be solving problems in your community or the workplace, providing value by service. And you know what? The bigger problems that you can solve provide a bigger service, and that's going to give you a bigger paycheck. Okay, so service, providing value outside your home. Category 2, I put spouse. That's who you serve first. This is your home. I talk with women that are married, have been married previously, want to be married. Maybe you don't want to be married and you're fine right in your own home. That's fine. Then you don't have to worry about this category. It's really the family category. Whoever your immediate family is that you are serving. And the top category, number 1, is self. I think that's self-explanatory. It's yourself. Now, when I was young, I definitely was very involved in church, and I heard this acronym around this time of year, and it was called JOY, J-O-Y. Okay, joy, joy. It's the greatest season of the year, and joy stands for Jesus first, others next, and yourself last. And I'm going to tell you something about that. And right now, I want to tell you, if I say something that offends you or rankles you or that you disagree with, that's okay. You don't have to agree with me. But I do like to find things that challenge the status quo, that challenge what we have been programmed in our entire life. Because if your life is not where you want it, it has to do with programming. And a lot of the programming is BS. A lot of the programming sounds great, but it is designed to keep you stuck, to keep you poor. 98% of the population is going to be dead or dead broke by the age of 65, relying on friends, family, or the government just to survive. And friend, I do not want that to be you. So we need to challenge some of the things that we've been taught. We need to challenge them, we need to analyze them, and not just take them at face value. So when I heard that acronym, JOY, Jesus first, others next, yourself last, I bought into it. And let me ask you, if you are a woman, if you're a housewife, if you're a mother, how long can you put yourself last? How long can you serve everybody else in the household, doing their laundry, cleaning their clothes, washing the floor, doing the dishes, making the food for everybody, And then at the end of the day, you're like, shoot, I was so busy, I didn't even get a drop of water or a bite to eat for myself because I was too busy taking care of everybody else. How long is that going to last? How long is that going to last you? How long is your body and your mind and your emotions going to take putting yourself last? So I'm calling BS on the JOY acronym, and I'm saying put yourself first. But wait, Larissa, isn't that selfish? Isn't that selfish to say I need to be first? Let me tell you something. I believe we're created in the image of God. God gave us free will, and we need to put ourselves first. We can't pour from an empty cup. Put the oxygen mask on yourself and then on the next person. All right. So selfish is going to keep you alive. Selfish is going to keep you alive and strengthen you so that you can give to others. Now, when I say put yourself first, that doesn't mean that I am saying, don't hear what I'm not saying. What I'm not saying is, oh, put yourself first and only 100% of the time focus on yourself. That's not what I'm saying. We thrive in community. We need relationships. We want to give to others. We want to serve others. We get a paycheck. Our finances are dependent on others. We receive money from other people. We help other people. We pay other people. We buy groceries. But you must put the oxygen mask on yourself first. On yourself first. And I have other people that are thinking, well, what about God? God needs to be first. Oxygen, mask, breath. How long would you survive without oxygen to your brain? Just a few minutes. It's the breath of life. And what is the first breath of life? God breathed, gave us life. If that is the breath of life. So really the first priority is yourself. Get that oxygen mask on yourself. Get that connection with breath. And for me, that is God. I am reaching for the oxygen mask with the breath of life because my body needs that. The actual physical molecules of oxygen and the actual spiritual infusion of God who creates the breath of life. So think about that. See how that resonates with you. And consider if you have oxygen, if you have food and water, and you put your armor, the Bible also says, put on the full armor of God first. Are you going out there without your armor? Are you going out there without taking care of your oxygen and your food and your water? You're going to be shot down. You're going to be crumbling. You must put yourself first. This category it actually has 4 subsections. So by self, I mean 4 things. Number 1, the physical body, which I consider the temple of God. That's what the Bible says. It's your temple. It houses the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. If you believe in the God of the Bible, that's what your body is. If you don't believe in the God of the Bible, hey, I won't judge you if you don't judge me. You don't have to believe in that for these things to work, even though these are all spiritual laws. If you plant a seed in the ground, if you plant a tomato seed in the ground and you fertilize it, take care of it, you're going to get tomatoes. You're not going to get corn. Whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, when you plant a seed and you take care of it, you're going to get fruit from it. So take care of your body. This includes proper sleep, proper fuel, proper nutrition, covering. I didn't come on here naked today. Okay, so take care of your temple, your body. That's the first category of self. The next, and these are not in any particular order. The other category is the spiritual category. Okay, and that is, how are you communing with God? You wake up, you get the oxygen mask on yourself, but then you want to have a communication. You want to have a relationship. What does that look like for you? That may be part of your goals. Okay, so we have the body, we have the spiritual component, we also have the mental component. Has to do with your mind, has to do with your will. God gave us free will. And how are we choosing that will? Are we saying negative things about ourselves? Are we believing that this is as good as it gets? This is your programming. So you need to work on your mental and your will. Sometimes you need to reprogram this with personal development, with reading good books, with catching yourself when you have a negative thought and reversing the sentence to have a positive thought. And fourth is the emotional category. It's your heart and your soul. And as women, we are emotional creatures. We need that taken care of. So the first category is yourself. And I want you to consider goals in those 4 subsections: your physical body, or the temple of God; the spiritual component, or your communion with God. How is your relationship? The mental component, your mind, your will. What are you feeding? What is programming your mind? Are you being programmed by catalogs that come in the mailbox to buy and waste your finances there? You find stuff you don't even need, but you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I needed that and that and that. Here's a quick financial tip. Do not bring the catalogs in your house. When you go to the mailbox and you see marketing material, throw it out. Don't even bring it in the house. You don't need to look for somebody else to program your mind to get you to spend money on things that you don't even realize that you need. And you're a lot better off investing that money into yourself rather than into somebody else's pocket. And finally, emotional, the emotional component. What's going to take care of how you feel? Do you need a break? Sometimes, some people are introverts. They might need to get out of the house or lock themselves in a room and just curl up with a book. Some people want to be around friends. That's what feeds them emotionally. They want to have parties and gatherings. You need to see what's going to keep you on an emotional even keel. Okay, 4 categories, 4 subcategories of yourself. Now, when I say spouse, we're on to category number 2. This is, if you're not married, maybe you want to be, maybe you're dating, maybe you don't want a relationship. This is an optional category if you're not married or if you're living by yourself. You can ignore it. But if you want a romantic interest, then you can listen up. But this is my number 2 category after the oxygen mask on myself. My next most important relationship after communion with God is my spouse. And when you're connected, it's like heaven on earth. And when you're not, it's like hell on earth. It is miserable. So this is a category that needs work in my life. And this also will show your children what to look for and what to expect when and if they decide they want a relationship or they want to be married. So the subcategories with spouse has to do with dates, has to do with encouragement, has to do with support, figuring out how we can have those times to build our relationship. So, also under that category, I put heirs. You had to connect with another person, unless you did in vitro, to have some children. So, this is still part of that family category. Um, what sort of example are you modeling in your marriage for your children? Do you want your children to have a marriage like yours? If you don't, then you better change your marriage and put some goals and ideals and values so that you can model for them. We can tell our children what to do, but they don't always do what we say. They're more likely to do what they see us do. All right. You may have heard that saying, don't don't do what I do what I say, but it really doesn't work. We're programming our children. Um, and, children feel secure when they see the mom and dad prioritize them. That gives them security. As moms, I see this so many times, I've done it myself. We dote on the children, we raise the children up as the most important, and then we back away from our spouse because they're at work. And I mean, divorces happen, miscommunication happens, and it does not make for a healthy relationship in a child. I've seen it, I've gone through it. My mom was divorced 3 times. She had to escape through a bathroom window with me because of physical abuse, and she had to leave the state with me and not tell anybody where she was. That's how fearful she was. And her next 2 marriages ended in divorce. I never wanted to get married. Well, that's what I saw. It just didn't make sense. Why would I put myself through that? Fortunately, I am married now. We've been married 23 years, and we went through some rough times. But the things that I learned, becoming 100% debt free, and especially that final year in 12 months where I paid off $92,000 in 12 months, um, that took prioritizing my spouse, and that took us working as a team. So you have that category, spouse, which is essentially your home, taking care of that number one relationship, and then the two of you working as a team to take care of the children. Number 3 is your service. Where are you providing value? Now, in the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, God gave Adam a job. Work was given as a gift. That is our gift. If we're able to work and if we have a job, it's a gift. It's a gift to go in and serve. It's a gift to go and provide value. This includes a job. It might be a job that's a stepping stone. It's not your career. Maybe you're in school. Maybe you're getting an education so that you can have a specific career. But in the meantime, you might be stacking shelves at the grocery store as a job. It's not your career. But whatever you do, you are solving problems. You're getting paid to solve somebody's problem. The better job you can do at solving a problem in your job, in your career, in your business, if it's entrepreneurial, that's going to provide value and you will receive a monetary reward for that. So that's where you're providing value. Next, under service, the subcategory is finances and stewardship. How are you stewarding your finances? What do you want your finances to look like? Do you want to be out of debt? Do you want to be debt free? Okay, when? When do you want to be debt free? Next year? 5 years? 10 years down the road? I don't care how long it is. Pick a number. get some clarity, figure out your goals in that area, and then figure out how you're going to steward your money. Are you going to look at the catalogs and buy all those things on sale that you didn't know you needed till you saw it? Or are you going to be wise with your money? Next subcategory under service with the money, how you doing with charity? Are you writing a check? Are you giving? Are you a giver? Maybe you're giving time and money. What are your goals for charity? What are your goals for giving? Um, Maybe you want to become a millionaire and start a foundation. Okay, that's going to be probably a longer term goal. Final category, most fun, category of smile. I have two subcategories. One is fun and one is adventure. So fun, hey, are you playing, what's fun for you? Popcorn night with the family, going out to the beach and learning paddleboarding. They have axe throwing. There's board games. There's murder mysteries you can solve. People like video games. What fun? What fun are you having? When was the last time you had fun? And what do you like doing fun? Maybe it's karaoke. You have to have some fun. You have to have some fun goals. Do you want to, throw a party once a month? Um, I don't know. Got to have some goals in that area. And adventure. Okay, now adventure and fun, those are two different things. You want to have fun throughout your life, but adventure, that is another level. That is scary. That is something that is exhilarating, exciting, dramatic. Maybe it scares you. What are you doing? I mean, what is life if you don't have any adventure? Um, is that a life worth living? I mean, we're here. Let's have some fun. Maybe it's going white water river rafting. Maybe it's something that scares you. Maybe it's going zip lining or in a hot air balloon. This is such an important category because this is something that is going to inspire you and motivate you when you're at your job and things aren't going well, or when you're at home and the spouse and the kids are driving you crazy and things aren't working. You got to have those things to look forward to. So those are the categories and the subcategories to help you figure out what your goals are. So dream, write down some goals in those areas. Write down the goals in the areas. I just looked down for a second. I thought I wasn't recording. Oh my goodness. So once you write down your goals, you also want to consider 1-year goals, 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, and lifetime goals. Now, a lot of people, this is a great clue for goals. I mean, dream, write down, journal, pour it all out. And there's no goal that is too big. There's no goal that's too big. Don't be ashamed of your goals. If you have a desire, God put it inside you. He's going to help you achieve it. But you have to be willing to commit. So write down the goals. And there's a lot of categories here. But after you write down the goals and write down goals in those areas, you're going to pick the one goal that all the others are going to hinge on, like the cornerstone goal. You want something that's going to excite you, but it's still achievable. And I'll give you samples from my own life. I'm going to look at my goals. I have a specific goal for 2024, and that's my sleep. I need to develop sleep strategies. That for me is the missing link. That's the foundation. If nothing else changes in my life, this is the one goal that is my top priority. the one goal that I'm going to focus on. And hey, if you're a mom like me, it's quiet. After the kids go to bed, the house is quiet. I can stay up really late and just take my time doing some cleaning and dusting and organizing or watching a movie or scrolling. This is the best time to do it, but it's ruining my health. So I've chosen that for myself. What is it going to take for me to prioritize my sleep? That might mean, so that's my goal. Once I have my goal, I know I'm going to develop a new habit in 2024. How am I going to do it? I might need to have my dinner earlier. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to go to bed having a huge dinner and a full tummy. That's not going to help my sleep. I might need to have dinner earlier. I might need to turn off technology at 7 p.m. I might need to have all my Zoom calls off by 9 p.m. So, which that's in that's in like 30 minutes or so. So that's my first goal. And I have other goals. Here's some samples of some other goals that I have just to get you started. I think a lot of times we don't plan goals anymore because we've failed. Now is the time to imagine what you want. And again, if you don't put down anything, you don't even have a target to hit, you're not going to get anything. But if you put down some goals, you're still going to be better off, even if you did not reach every single one of those goals the way you wanted to. At least you're moving forward. I want to read one nonfiction book per month and one fiction book per quarter. I need to read more. I want to go to the beach one time a month. I want to put date nights on the calendar for all of 2024. I want to plan some things rather than doing things last minute. Um, let's see, what else? I have goals for 2025. My husband wants to buy a brand new truck, wants to pay cash, outright, no financing, no debt. That's a goal we're working towards. I want to read the Bible chronologically in 2024. I've read the Bible many, many times. I highly recommend you do it. But I only started reading the Bible chronologically a couple years ago. So this will be the third time that I would be reading the entire Bible from start to finish in 365 days. And, when I do those things and when I have that mindset, I have that communion with God with a greater power. I get more oxygen. I get to put that oxygen mask on myself even more. And really it's a powerful motivation emotionally for me. Next week, we're going to talk about strategies to achieve your goals. So, not next week, it's tomorrow. We're doing 3 days back to back. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to achieve the goals you've written down. So, your homework is write down some goals, dream, journal, take out some blank sheets of paper, and just write. It doesn't even need to make sense. And don't judge yourself if it sounds stupid. Don't judge yourself. I'm not judging you. Don't judge you. Don't judge others. Write it down. Brainstorm. One of the key components about brainstorming is that you do not judge any of the ideas. Don't judge the ideas. One thing I learned, because if you start judging your ideas and you're like, that's stupid, you're going to cut yourself off. You're going to stop the flow. So there was an example that was given to me about brainstorming. How are we going to raise more money? Actually, I did this way back before I paid off that $92,000 in 12 months because I did brainstorming. Sat down with my husband and I said, we're going to come up with all of the ways that we can make more money to pay down our debt. So we had obvious things, sell things, work more hours, get a second job, don't eat out as much, Rob a bank. Okay, I literally wrote that down. Rob a bank. All right, so my husband's in law enforcement. We're not going to rob a bank. But again, I'm not going to stop the flow. I'm going to write down every freaking idea. Rob a bank. Mug an old lady that on the street. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But these I just told my mind, throw out every single way that we can think of to make money. And after we threw that all out on the pieces of paper, then we went back and crossed out. Obviously, we're not going to do the illegal stuff. Cross that out, cross that out. Some things are impractical. I mean, we can't work 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. So cross that off. The point is, don't stop yourself from ideas. Don't judge your ideas. Write down your goals. Dream, dream big. And then after you put those ideas down, take a look and say, what is the one thing I really need right now? What is the one, if I could only have one of these right now within the next couple of months or next 6 months to a year, what do I need? And then we'll keep adding on to the other goals. And the final key that I have learned is celebrate your sprouts. We talk about that in the group, what you're grateful for, but tiny progress and consistency. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight. I did not become a millionaire overnight. I did not pay off all of my debt overnight. It was a journey, and sometimes you don't see the end of it, but just to be happy with putting one step forward. Keep on moving. Dream, dream. Don't judge yourself. Write and imagine. Imagine you're writing a story. Imagine you're writing a story of how you would like your life to be. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how to achieve it. So thank you. That's been about 30 minutes. We'll have another 30 minutes tomorrow about achieving it, and you can do it. You have achieved goals in your life. And again, I don't like that word. Let's talk about ideals. What ideals do you want? What ideals do you want to work towards? And I will see you tomorrow. Keep dreaming, dream big.